Should we get started?
I don't think so.
Yes, please get started. Thank you. We only have
All right.
2 more items, really.
Sounds great. Thank you all for having us tonight. We are the Salisbury Parks Committee. I'm going to let the other members of the group introduce themselves. One thing to note, Mark Flaudenlacker is a member of our committee. He's also quadriplegic. And unfortunately, just was unable to find parking tonight, so he's not going to be joining us.
Wow.
But I'll start with Mike. You want to introduce yourself?
Mike Perry, I'm a teacher in Dorchester County and have been on the committee for, what do you think, Gabe? Yeah, 10 years or so.
Who's counting?
Thank you.
Hey, Mike, I
that.
didn't even see you over there. I haven't seen you about 5 or 10 years. How you doing? Good.
My name's Eugene Hernick. I'm on the committee. I'm an accountant with Handy Seafood.
And Benjamin Stewart, I'm also a member of the committee, co-owner of Night Watch Child Care Center.
And my name is Mike Perensky. I'm currently the chair of the committee, newly minted member of the Planning Commission. So here we go. So this update is really just kind of our short list of things that we think are a major priority. We're going to start with the East William Street Park. If you're unfamiliar with this park, it is kind of in between the corner of East William Street and Wales Street, and then East William Street, and I want to call it Railroad Avenue / Church Street. This park is quite a unique park. It's adjacent to R.D. Greer and Almost Broke Trucking. This park has a lot of potential, but it just really needs our TLC. This is a park that's been sort of passed over a lot of times for the program open space funds. And a lot of the issues that we face in parks like this it's kind of amplified in this location, but a lot of them are persistent across all of our parks. One of the major issues that we encounter is just lighting in general in the parks. And that's a major piece of safety. One of the other issues, and we got some photos, so we can just, stuff like this.
Excuse me, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you mention that we have monthly meetings at those parks? We visit each park?
We do. Yep. So part of this is we go visit parks and we go visit sites. We do a lot of site visits. For example, 2 months ago, there was a conversation in council about a railing down at the Riverwalk. Our Parks Committee met here in this room, but then all of us walked down to the Riverwalk for 20 minutes and spent a lot of time actually seeing the park. And we're there in the evening, so especially this time of year, we're seeing the park at night, and that's when most people are going to be there in the downtown area, like at the Riverwalk. And it highlights our, you start to see both people using the park and things that maybe that might be concerning at different times of the day. There is a part of what you see in a park like this is that a lot of the amenities you might find in the city park you won't find here. You don't see a city standard trash can. You don't see city standard benches or anything like that. There's no sign out in front of it that kind of highlights, this is actually a city-owned park. There's just some things here that we just want to make sure that as a group we got this on the radar, so that folks are aware that the need is there. And the expectation isn't necessarily that the city is going to get out there tomorrow and fix the whole thing, but there's a lot of organizations in the in the community that are doing service projects or in need of a project that they want to accomplish. A park like this is a great way of accomplishing a major goal to improve the community while serving a service learning need or just trying to do a team building exercise. I did want to bring attention though to kind of how we address needs in the park. One of the things I learned is that if you look at the photo on the right, you'll see the fence line around the tree. On the left side of that photo, there used to be a blanket hanging there, and then there was a ladder going across to the lot. And a lot of basically what it looked like, where there could be drug activity or other just nefarious activity. It took about a year to get that stuff removed. Just getting it on the right person's radar. Our parks team's not really able to handle that. It goes to housing and community development. I'm not sure what the steps are there to try to address this issue, but one thing I will emphasize is that when people in the community see these safety issues and they report them, I think it's really important that we take them seriously and we handle it with some urgency. Eugene and I met a gentleman yesterday who's been working 22 years at PRMC, owns his house within the vicinity of the park, and he raises his grandson.
Pretty much across the street from the park. And
He just wants to be able to send his grandson to a safe place
Sure.
to play.
And he specifically mentioned in that space that until recently, he was afraid to send his grandson, to the park. He would not let his grandson go there because there was too much drug activity in that park. And he also mentioned that even now, in the mornings, he goes over and cleans up beer bottles and other stuff that is just all littered over in the mornings. That shouldn't be on the citizen across the street to have to clean up the park. And as you can see in the state of the thing, that there's certain parts that are still in rather disrepair.
I will say our park staff has been over there and has done a tremendous job in terms of just general cleanup and maintenance of the grounds. The mulch is fresh. The trees are trimmed back. The vegetation is under control. So they've been over there. They've spruced it up quite a bit. It's just a matter of kind of getting all hands on deck over there. We're just going to move on to the next one, unless anyone has questions or wants to add anything. But the Newton Street tot lot, it's right adjacent to the Newton Street Community Center. This is another park, tremendous potential. Just requires another all hands on deck approach to just bringing this park up to a better standard. Some of the major things, again, we go back to lighting, we go back to shade, go back to just creating a space that's more inviting. In some areas of the city park, we've really done a good job of that. You look at Unity Square, there's that gives us sort of this gold standard of, maintenance and upkeep and, parks like this, right adjacent to the community center. Couple things, here and there. I think we could add a grill or two out there to make this park more inviting. Just updating benches, repairing the gazebo. These are all things that, could take an afternoon for a community group to do some of these projects. But I think getting it on the radar for just general, if we have CIP funds available for just general parks updates, this is, I think, for the money we spent on Unity Square, we can update pretty much every single park up to high standard, extremely high standard. We could get there and still have money left over for Unity Square 2.0. Again, we talk about signage, and we'll mention this at the end of the presentation, just some general recommendations on branding and wayfinding. You see it in some places, you don't see it in others. The sign across the street at the community center is beautiful. Mm-hmm. So if we can replicate that sign at the playground, we'd be in really good shape. The groups that have come together to maintain the community garden adjacent to this playground have really done a tremendous job over there. And I know some of the folks that are doing that work, and they're already doing a great job. So hopefully we can, our group, is going to commit to working with folks in the community to try to tackle some of these projects in the next year. And then here's just some examples, a couple of shingles missing. We just need to replace a few boards on this gazebo. And then stump removal, extending the split rail fence all the way around the park would be great to create sort of a natural barrier, and then adding a barrier around the play area, updating, benches and picnic tables, that kind of stuff. All that goes into just making this park kind of a more welcoming environment, a place where people want to spend time. The more time we have people outside in the neighborhoods, I think the more inviting the community will be overall. I was hoping Mark would be here tonight, but one of the items we want to raise some attention on is just creating new recreational opportunities for folks, particularly adaptive recreation opportunities. This is a topic we don't really hear much about, but we have a lot of community organizations here on the shore that serve people with mobility needs, different types of disabilities, folks who may have autism or a related disability. But one of the items, Mark, who joined our committee about 2 years ago, he joined to work with the city to improve the trails that we have, to bring them up to more of an adaptive standard. These are just things like widening the trail bed, kind of removing different impediments along the trail. Again, wayfinding is a huge part of this. We have a great community organization that does some trail building, but there may need to be a little bit extra support to get to this point where we can create a trail where people not only can ride down it, but they can feel comfortable and safe riding the trail. An example of this is the Patapsco Valley State Park. The Friends organization for that park has pretty much made it their goal to create adaptive trails. And the benefit of that is seniors use the trails, families with kids use the trails, people that are new to mountain biking use the trails. It's become the most popular trails in their network. There's a defined standard out there. And a great thing that our parks staff, along with the streets team from field operations, did was improve the trail behind the zoo to have a wider trail bed. The grade is a little bit less steep, and they've really made that more accessible. And then the second piece of this is a sensory trail. There's a great location in the city park for this. A sensory trail is, here's an example of Mark on his bike. This is at Naylor Mill. There's another organization called Team 360 that engages athletes using these sport chairs on the right in running events and distance events, like endurance events. These folks use our trails or would like to be able to use our trails more. And as you can see in the photo, Mark was out there. I was a support rider, doing mostly helping him get through the trail, but there's just some sections where, it's incredibly difficult to navigate. Then when you get out there, you don't know which way to turn or if you're going to be able to make it back. So pretty interesting being out there with him, and he loves doing the ride. Go ahead, Mike.
When I met Mark, we were working on a trail in Berlin, and he came out and supported the group, which was a group of middle school and high school students getting their service learning hours from, the Stephen Decatur area and all the way down. I think a couple were from Snow Hill. And he was at that time using a hand cycle. So he has improved and has worked on his fitness and everything else and progressed a little bit and is using a pedal cycle in that
Yeah,
picture.
with
Just
a
wanted to let you
small
know, this is
electric
not
motor.
just a whim. This is something he's been in for a long time, and it's part of his therapy. And he is also a special needs instructor. We've got a few teachers here, and we understand the need. And I wanted to mention earlier, when you talk about a safe, welcoming space in a park, it's good for your mental health as well. It's what a lot of people need. Right. That's all you.
So the topic of a sensory trail has been something we've focused quite a bit on in the committee. We've engaged folks from Team 360, from the United Needs and Abilities, from the Lower Shore autism community to discuss kind of this idea of a sensory trail. Sensory trail is a 0.1 mile, so 528 feet trail. And the trail is flanked by a guide rope. That's all right. We'll go through this. This is just an example of Mark riding his mountain bike out there. You can see there's a lot of exposure on his left, and that's where I am, making sure he doesn't roll down the hill. But it takes a lot of work for him to get that bike moving. So, sensory trail. This is at Patapsco Valley State Park. This is just another section of the park. It's a huge park, but a lot of opportunities here. The sensory trail is a 0.1 mile trail flanked by a guide rope, and then there's different stations along the way to engage all your senses and modalities. Balance, proprioception, all of your senses. I'm not going to tell you what all your senses are, but and there's interpretive signage along the way. This is a really important part of the trail, is the interpretive signage. Everything on the right is in Braille, and then it's a cast bronze it's some type of cast metal sign. I don't want to say bronze, but it could be. So you can actually feel the outline of the shell or the antlers on the deer, the feather, but there's also a Braille on there as well. And one of the locations that we're proposing for such a trail would be in between the zoo overflow parking and the Pony League parking. And if I would encourage all of you to go out there and take a look at this location, the main benefit of this location is the parking. So if you are the parent of a child or a family member and you want to be able to access the trail, but want to be able to get in and out quickly, or you have a mobility need, the distance is not far from the available parking. This would also require us to make some improvements to the accessible parking in that area, which we can talk about another time, but there's a major need for accessible parking on that side of the park. But this would just give another activity at the city park. It would take some pressure off of the zoo and some of the other amenities there, but it would really engage people and groups in creating a special place for our residents. We've engaged Eric Schuster from the art department, from the music department at SU, who's provided a lot of insight on sound making devices for this trail. And one of the organizations that serves the special needs community is located literally adjacent to the park, the United Needs and Abilities. So they would be a tremendous partner in helping to put together this trail. And Ben, did you want to add? Yeah, because you.
Yeah, I'll let you introduce me. Go ahead. You go right
Ben Stewart. His family well, he and his wife own. Why don't you tell your story?
All right, I got it, brother. I got you. Okay. So me and my wife run the Night Watch Child Care Center. If you haven't heard of us, we're the only evening and overnight child care center. We're located right off of Riverside Drive. About 2 years ago, me and my wife took the liberty of erecting our own sensory garden in our own backyard. And just with the kids alone, we've seen such an improvement in both their confidence, their curiosity, and just their love of life, honestly. You know, if we have a chance and it's warm outside, let's go out and take a look at the stars. But otherwise they have plenty of garden activities that they can engage in. We've even got a fountain out back, and the kids, you know, they love it. They want to be outside all the time. Something like a sensory garden, of course, at any park that we have, honestly, all the parks that we have, would be just so beneficial. Every kid, they need guidance, and a sensory garden is a good way for them to get dirty without, you know, necessarily harming anyone or themselves for that reason. It's kind of controlled. And it also gives them just that curiosity aspect. But yes, all 4 sensory gardens. I myself am a big fan of sensory gardens. I love going out and just becoming one with nature, just sitting down and really listening to the birds or the water running, things like that. So always engage your senses when you go out there. There's been a lot of, I'm sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? Research done just with the benefits of it. So that's all I'll say on that.
Thank you.
All right. So 2 parks that need our attention and a big idea. A couple things. Eugene, if you want to go over any of this, by all means.
We need to work on the signage in the current parks. There's signage missing in areas. There's not standardized signage in some areas. And as we mentioned before, sometimes you don't even know that that's actual city park because there's no sign that that's a park or what the name of the park is. You don't know anything about the park. We need to also work on the fact that there are parks in this city that don't have sidewalks to get to the park. All right, so now kids
Or crosswalks.
or crosswalks. So there's nothing. So there's no guide to show people where to go to the park. There's no safe way for the kids to even get to the park without having to cross the streets, you know, or, you know, even get there. So like, for instance, the one park we were at didn't have a sidewalk to it. Neither one, the Newton one or the other one, had actual sidewalks all the way around it. And one of the most important things that we really need to start working on is traffic calming devices around our parks. There's no speed bumps. There's no reduced speed limits. There's no way that we're slowing traffic down. People are racing by these parks. One park that's in particular is the one that's going right off onto Mill Street. Right off on there, when people are coming on the on-ramp on there, they are jetting across that thing going 50, 60 miles right adjacent to a park. How is that a safe environment for kids to get to that park on that side? It's not. Woodcock Park. The folks are racing that way to get to Riverside Drive and then head over to South to get over to the back way to get into the city. They are jetting across because there's no speed bumps on that one like there is on South Boulevard. So people bypass South, go on Pennsylvania, and they drive down like going crazy, like a bat out of hell. Part of my language. We need to figure out a way to protect the areas around the parks to make it a safe spot for kids to go to. All right, and if we can do speed bumps on South Boulevard, we can do speed bumps on the adjacent areas to the park. And just like almost on Main Street here, also when adjacent to the city park, we need to do something about the conditions of that road. People are still going very fast around that middle school that's there and around the city park in itself.
Just a quick example. This is the Ma and Pa Trail in Harford County in Bel Air. That's a crosswalk painted with Ma and Pa Trail insignia, just directing people to the Ma and Pa Trail. There's a playground there. There's a great pedestrian trail there, multi-use trail. You know exactly where you are. Park safety, just another big, just a kind of high-level item. The committee worked with the city administration for months on the development of this parks rules ordinance. I'm assuming that is soon to hit the agenda to discuss kind of how we can pass this rules ordinance to basically, set the expectation for folks when they come visit our parks. It's discussed in the city park master plan. We've discussed it throughout this presentation, but improved lighting in all parks, particularly the city park. One of the takeaways from our visit to the Riverwalk with Miss Jackson was that there's safety equipment out there. There's I don't even know what they're called. Right, life preservers, yeah. But there's not really any signage that they're in a big red case, but you don't necessarily know what's there. And then it's kind of locked up in a thing. You don't really know how to open it. The more we do to direct people to and from our parks and to the life-saving devices in the parks, whether it's an AED device or a life preserver or a call box, for example, in certain areas down the road, that just enhances the safety. It makes people feel more comfortable. It makes it a more welcoming place. And then just regular communication with neighbors that live around the parks. That's the easiest way to kind of figure out what's going on, what we've done right, what we can do better. And if you walk around the neighborhood around a park, more than likely you're gonna meet someone that's gonna be perfectly willing to talk to you and share how they feel. It happened to us yesterday. First family we talked to didn't have English language skills to really communicate their need, but right away they said, "Here, talk to this guy," and he let us have it. And that's a good thing, because that's a door we can knock on. That is a person who is going to be eyes and ears in that neighborhood anytime you need to know what you can do better or what you've done well, because he had both. He had good things to say. He had some suggestions for improvements, and that's exactly the type of interaction that makes that community stronger, and that will help us better serve that community. So it's really valuable to make those connections and to have almost like those ambassadors in our neighborhoods who can communicate to us, what the needs are. I went to the end, and then we're gonna wrap it up here. But does anyone else have anything to add on that?
No.
Okay, perfect.
You're good.
So we, in doing this work, we found a few opportunities, just things to think about, in addition to some of the others we mentioned tonight. The Roger Street, Prince Street, Spring Avenue neighborhood doesn't really have a park that serves that community. So there is a huge lot, and I say huge, there is a large lot on Hemlock Street that the city was maintaining, but it's actually not owned by the city. So I'm just pointing out that fact that we don't actually own the property. So we can't go put a piece of playground equipment on it tomorrow. But that surrounding community doesn't have a park. You have to cross Snow Hill Road, cross Shoemaker, go down the hill, then you get to the city park. That's just a really far away. The Prince Street Elementary School, there's no access for kids after school hours. That lot is owned by a condo association. I believe the condo association that maybe operates the common areas for the townhomes on Hemlock Street. I looked it up on SDAT and the Maryland Planning Finder app, and I couldn't find like the SDAT listing for who owned that specific piece of property, but it's the section on Hemlock Street that's a big open thing with a nasty bush in the middle, and then all the area behind the townhomes there. That's all the same parcel, according to the state. But that large open area would be a perfect place for playground equipment and some, all the things you'd find in a neighborhood park. There's also a nearby abandoned pool and tennis court that is owned by a condo association, and maybe with a little nudging from the city, we could find a way to remedy that property, either as a park or something else.
Yeah, those conversations have occurred.
Yeah, aquatic facility to serve the neighborhood, but
Aquatic facility, I like that.
yeah,
It's really hard to say that that's an aquatic facility.
Yeah, that's it, fancy.
But it would be nice, the city does not have a city pool. And it's something that this community, I think, kind of needs.
Yeah,
And it would be something that could also be a good revenue generation for the Parks Department as well. That said, that the area that we were talking about, Hemlock Street, is also where the pool is at,
yeah,
is also pretty much where 3 districts intertwine
yeah.
in that neighborhood.
in that neighborhood.
A lot of kids after school, for sure.
Lot
of kids.
and they have nothing to do outside. There's nothing to do for them because the school is on lockdown. All the playground stuff that's at the school is locked behind a gate.
Yeah.
Most of the schools are doing that.
And so defeats the whole purpose of having a playground set at the school
Yeah.
if nobody can use it.
Exactly.
And either the school board's willing to open that up, which they're never going to.
We did a petition in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Pinehurst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to find a way to give some kind of park to this community, which is vastly underserved.
And then, just to wrap it up, one thing that will help us sort of identify and prioritize all of the various needs for the parks in our neighborhood is just a park system master plan, a system-wide master plan. That should even include things like the Rail the Trail program that was begun many years ago, and sort of identify all of our park assets. There's parks that most of us might drive by every week, but wouldn't realize it's considered a city park, war memorial
What
park.
is the number? I can't remember what
It's over 40 properties.
it's kind of surprising to some people. And when we visit them, often they're being used, and especially in the summer, we'll see nice events going on, and we meet a lot of people.
Yeah. So the we have a city park master plan, and I don't want to confuse these two items. The city park master plan focuses solely on the city park property, but with all the other park properties that we maintain, we need sort of a plan to sort of understand what's in the pipeline, what hasn't, what needs to get into the pipeline, and how we can best prioritize the money that we have, and then work with groups like ours to sort of find ways to make improvements outside of, the city government coffers, because what I don't want to do is, the takeaway isn't that, the city government needs to handle all this stuff. Some of the things community groups and organizations like our committee is a committee that we're just here to provide recommendations, insights. One of the things we've discussed is creating our own standalone nonprofit organization to take on some improvement projects. But that will just add capacity to the city to be able to really make some major improvements to parks and neighborhoods. But what I will say is, putting together the plan helps to coordinate city resources in a different way, because our streets department actually will go out there and make improvements to the paved trails in the city park. And you wouldn't think that streets would be involved in that, but they actually have all the skills and resources to do it. So, sort of the beauty of having field ops and parks kind of or streets and parks in that field ops umbrella is that they can work together and share resources. Our challenge is that our planning, our infrastructure and development, and the field ops are sort of separate. So getting the coordination there is really important. And then I think that's pretty much it, unless these folks have anything else they want to add.
Good job.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to say from the administration perspective, we did the upgrade at Doverdale, and we did the upgrade at
Sure,
Lake
yeah.
Street. We're getting ready to do the waterside
Waterside
pavilion and bathrooms, and then we're getting ready to do
Yep.
in the springtime, we should be
Yep.
getting the equipment for the playground equipment. We're also getting more playground equipment at Woodcock Park. That all said, we've got some funds out there. We can't buy actual playground equipment, but we can do all the capital costs, roofing and that sort of, that we may be able to spread over, which if you give us a list, a punch list, Tom Stevenson in our office is kind of going to be the assistant deputy administrator. He's going to be doing these singles, doubles kind of projects where
Sure.
he jumps on stuff that's customer facing that we can knock out. And you know, in the off season, while Parks is not cutting grass in the zoo or in the park, we got plenty of stuff to do. That we got stuff to do, we can knock it out. So it'll be perfect.
And I think the budget for this current fiscal year included some money for the committee, and one of the projects we discussed was doing some rehab on the gazebo at Boundless Playground.
Yeah, perfect.
So I think that's sort of that's a full day, but get a group of us out there, we can.
Oh, you guys actually banging the shingles type of thing?
Well, that's at. We'll save that for you over at Newton Street. Yeah.
I get my nail
Preservation is your specialty. So.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. I'm right up my alley, right there.
Thank you so much. This is very informative.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to be reaching back out to you soon enough in regards to a punch list and see what kind of things we could take care of more immediate than not. This is very informative. Thank you so much.
I'd also like to thank Ms. Jackson.
Thanks, guys.
Attending quite a few of our out in the world
Thank you.
parks events.
I haven't been as active as I really want to be, and I can say when I was that one day that I was actually with you all, it was very enjoyable, enlightening. We learned, and I love Mike because Mike is very thorough about he cares.
Very
and
thorough.
I'm not saying you don't because you do, because one of the days we were out there it was cold. It was real cold, so you had to care.
He was too
But
thorough.
Mike, his heart is in it, and it's evident that your hearts are in it as well. So thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Before we go on to the Zoo Commission transition presentation, I just wanted to say that we are going to remove, is that the resolution for the enterprise zone eligibility for 201 Marvel Road, and since it's a work session, we can just remove it. They're just not prepared at this point. Is that correct? They're just not prepared. So it was the last minute. Okay, I just want to make sure that that's correct. So really, this is the last item before we do public comments on items on the agenda. And we have the Zoo Commission transition presentation.
Can't be true.
Alan Swagger, and newly sworn-in director of the Salisbury Zoo, Chuck Eichels.
You said it right. Good job.
You got good job. Awesome. First of all, I want to thank you all, every one of you, for supporting the zoo and doing everything we do, because we would not be able to survive without all of you in the entire city, because it's just pretty awesome. So that's Mr. Dale. He's our newest ocelot that we got.
Really pretty.
And he's actually more out.
Oh, Lord, I'd like to have him in my living room.
All the other girls that were there previously. So
I'd like to have him in my living room. I love him. He's beautiful. Yeah.
Is he a carnivore?
he's on everything.
Oh, he's beautiful, though.
He is gorgeous. Yes.
Yeah.
All
Really
right.
gorgeous.
So Salisbury Zoo Zoological Park is committed to the best care for animal collection, supplying educational and memorable experiences to our guests. We are really driven to get our AZA accreditation back. That's our mission statement. It's very wordy. We'll be looking at rewording that, making it a little bit more condensed. But we're really, truly are. And if I know all of you guys have been out to the zoo, you can see the changes that are happening.
So just to add on, we're talking today about Salisbury Zoo Commission and what it's going to look like going forward. But I think it's really important to understand the purposes of why this change is happening. So Chuck's going to take a little bit of time to celebrate himself and the work that they've done,
The team,
which he's really good at. With the AZA accreditation, it's absolutely vital that we update our habitats, we update our fields, that we have out there, and then the grounds and everything. So what you're seeing is some work that has been done in collaboration with the Zoo Commission over the past few years, and particularly in the past 8 months. And then it's going to help tell the story of why this transition is happening and really why it's needed for the rest of the zoo future.
So you guys all remember the capybara, unfortunately passed away. So to build a new capybara exhibit is about $350,000. So we don't have that. So we have a list of animals that we would like to have at the facility. It's a 5-year plan. So we looked over what we have, and we had our peccaries were on our list. So we renovated the capybara building into the new South American peccary building, sponsored by Parker Block. They were awesome and helped us out tremendously on it. It went down to about a $32,000 project. So really made a big difference. And if you guys have not seen these guys, you got to come on, please, because they are the most active animal at the zoo.
They're homely.
Minus Snow.
They're homely.
Minus Snow. So
But they're cool.
3 of the girls that came with us are from Los Angeles, so they're kind of, snooty. But they also don't know what white stuff is on the ground. That white stuff.
Yeah.
They would what? They were really afraid. The other 2 girls are from Illinois, so they knew what the snow was. They actually left 6 inches of snow before they got to us. But we really changed the entire area. We opened things up. When we were doing the rehab to the facility itself, the building, we actually put a guest viewing window in. So now the guests, if the animals are inside the building, they can actually see animals all the time. So we do that. All right. Who remembers the Gator building? I'm sure everybody remembers the Gator building. Well, the Gators that grew our facility. In order to build a new facility for the Gators, again, it's going to be $500,000 or more. Also, I can't do anything to that area because there's actually a 14-inch water main that runs directly underneath that entire habitat. So can't deepen pools, can't do anything. So it's like, all right, what are we going to do here? So we have decided we're going to call it the Rainforest Exhibit. Again, we've done some modifications, costing us about $18,000. But what is really cool about it is we've got these green aerosaurs, the little toucan there that's right there. So normal toucans are about A big. These guys are about this big. We have a breeding pair sitting in quarantine as we speak, and we'll be out on the habitat within 30 days. We'll also be putting out the red-footed tortoises in there. So we are hoping to have multi-levels and multi-action going on, so that way guests coming by, they actually can see and enjoy the facility. Now, of course, that does have the huge main window from the Gators. That still remains the same. And then we are on the list to get Saki monkeys, which are the guys there to the lower right-hand side. They're bigger than the marmosets, but smaller than the spider monkeys. So really perfect combination, but we'll also be getting a breeding pair of those. So we will be getting into the breeding business at the zoo again, besides bears. So these are also habitat stuff that we have fixed up over this past year. Flamingo interior got gutted, sanded, sandblasted, and then recoated with appropriate paint for the animals. We also fixed the roof, put in new HVAC system, all new electricity, all new lighting going on there, and an outside habitat. We took out all of that bamboo that was creating a nice shaded area, but flamingos like sunshine. So now they get to enjoy the sunshine, well, what little we have right now, but hopefully in the summertime it will be much better for them. Same thing with lynx. We created a new habitat inside for them. They have new automatic waters in there, new HVAC system, new paint, new gates, so that way they're safe as well as the animal care staff is safe working with these animals. Sandhill crane, a couple of years back, we all know that the zoo flooded. It actually took out their habitat. So we had them living up in our hospital area for about 8 months while we repaired their facility. So we put in all new perimeter fencing in. We took out all of the overgrown bushes and garbage plants that were in there and created a nice shelter. So that way, it's now a perfect habitat for them. The bison, some of you guys, we just removed some mounding that was creating some safety hazards inside the habitat for the animals, as well as we put those mounds there. Now it was actually collecting water, and it was not actually draining out of the facility. And we got close to cited by the USDA for this. So fortunately, we had field operations come out, and they came out and leveled all the mounds down, and so we have proper drainage now, and it's great. Morgan Center is also, we did quite a few modifications within there, repainted all the habitats that are in there, and created a new little system for our axolotls, which is right there to the bottom right-hand side. So if you haven't had a chance to see the axolotl, they are pretty cool. Pink salamanders, they're very popular. Animal Services building got a complete redo. We gutted the entire building. Got rid of all the old moldy insulation that was in there, all the deplorable walls, and created a brand new facility. We originally were estimating this to be about a $180,000 project. We got field operations came in, and it came in at $92,000. So, and it's a complete brand new kitchen area, new food storage area, which is great. Paved walkways, fantastic. It's unbelievable change. If you have not been out to the zoo since you've seen that, it changed our world.
Yeah, it did.
One
Big
way
difference.
that it actually changed our world is it's actually now bumped up our timeline to become AZ accredited or apply for accreditation. Because it was always, where do you come up with $200,000 to put pathways in? You can go fundraise for this cool animal, but we have pathways. So thank you, city, for helping us out with that and paving all the stuff. It was a 10-year project. If you haven't been out to the zoo, we got new digital mapping going on. We've got these really cool televisions, kiosks, information centers that actually have updated daily maps. You can walk up to the zoo, and there's actually QR codes, and you'll be able to identify where you're at on the map. And this new animal mural, this is cool. Really a cool project. We had over 1,500, or actually 150 people, go ahead and paint this mural. And then the artist came back on Sunday and touched it up. But one thing we discovered with our pinging system for the stuff, there was actually the highest attendance at the zoo in the first 6 months we were open last year. So it was extremely well attended. We put this in here real quick because this is something you guys don't really hear about. You only hear about the bad stuff coming out of the animal hospital. So we wanted to celebrate the achievements because Dr. Williams and Ashley, they just do a phenomenal job with all the animals. So we are actually one of very few facilities that ever attempted and done a blood transfusion on a flamingo. Huh. So it's literally less than 5 institutions have done this. So it is something amazing that we have done. That it's just, we can do pretty much anything in our animal hospital now. We worked with the Maryland Zoo and the Smithsonian Institution on our bison examinations. It was a monster team effort. We had about 25 people out there taking care of these animals because we actually had to knock them down. We knocked them down simultaneously. So we had a veterinary crew on this side, a veterinary crew on this side. We had animal care over here, animal care over here. And it was completely smooth, and it should have taken about 2 hours. We got it done in less than an hour. By having the two teams there. And lastly, we really work with our animals. They have voluntary animal behaviors, so they have choice. So if they don't want to participate in their own animal health that day, that's fine with us. We'll come back tomorrow. So we have everybody getting weights. Bayou, unfortunately, is our sloth, but she was the champ at this. She would let us do voluntary blood draws, urinalysis, ultrasounds, weights. So she was a champ at it, and we're actually spreading that now, showing that we can, do this, and the animals will do everything that we want them to do voluntarily.
right.
That's fantastic.
Great stuff, right?
Good, good.
This is a lot of words that I'll let you read another day.
Thank you.
But it's basically the timeline of the Zoo Commission, how it started, where it came from. 1967, it was established as an advisory board of the city. It still currently is. 1983, it became an official nonprofit. Its focus was staffing, animal curation, event planning, and marketing, so what you would call more the operations, the day-to-day flow of the zoo. In 2009, Delmarva Zoological Society was established as a nonprofit to help with managing capital campaigns. So these are your big builds, the big improvements that you see now. A couple of those animal health clinic and the Australian habitats were they're doing DZS. In 2023, DZS dissolved and allocated all its assets to the Salisbury Zoo Commission. And over the past 10 years, the city has stepped up and really taken charge and ownership of a lot of the operations that the Zoo Commission used to do. So with that, it's left the Zoo Commission looking for how to help. What's next? As many things that have been around this long, it needs to evolve, and now's a good time to do it. So as we approach AZA accreditation and we know that there's some significant builds, we need the support of our volunteers to go out and help us fundraise, and also just to support our education programming, keep it free and affordable. For most of the things. So long story short, the Salisbury Zoo Commission would like to change their name to the Salisbury Zoo Foundation. I feel like that has a better ring to it, more recognizable. And their mission is going to switch to basically being dedicated to supporting capital improvement projects and educational programming. So they're really truly embracing the full-on nonprofit side of what their existence is now. As you can tell, this is pretty consistent with best practices for public and private partnerships, and ultimately, for our sake, it's a clear donor picture. People who want to give money and help the zoo have a foundation to now give it to that's dedicated to these improvements. So in order to do this, the Articles of Incorporation that were submitted in 1983 require the mayor's approval, which I already have his blessing, and so we're here to seek yours in order to move these changes forward.
I do see the letter was emailed to us for our signature, and I'm sure you'll get it from. I want to, council, what are your thoughts? I can see this happening.
I know you guys have been working on this for
a while,
time, and it's been a lot of work to put into it. So I'm excited to see this new phase. I really am. I think this is going to be the right move for the zoo, and
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I want to say as the mayor, last year I think we gave them like $350,000, and they really made a lot of hay with that. Between the facilities, the painting, the roofing, the cleanups, and then we capped it off this year with the paving. And I don't think anybody can say that zoo doesn't look the best it's looked in 10 years. Chuck, he's like Bill Nye, the science guy. He's like always going around. He's got hats on sideways half the time. But I mean, he does a great job and loves the animals, and the animal science center of the area that's all taken care of, and I think it's well putting us on the track. And I think with the Imagination Center, which we were out trying to cite the other day with a level of frustrations, that will put us over the top and make us revenue producing. I think really put the zoo in a whole different trajectory long term. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. So thank you, Chuck.
It's awesome what you've accomplished. I mean, it's just the energy and the excitement is just powerful. It's great.
But there's still money left from that 350 still.
Yeah, it's right. There's change left over.
We are really trying to keep
Yeah.
our finances straight and find vendors like Parker Block, DW
Right.
Masonry, to help us with these projects.
And like I mentioned in other meetings, a lot of the money we spent on that 350 was stuff you just don't see. It's not the pretty things, it's the things in the ground that make the pretty things run.
Had to be done.
Yeah, that's where we're at now is you're going to see some of these new habitats popping up that are in vacant spaces, and we need the foundation to do that. They need to help us and support us, and they're willing, they're ready to roll, so they're just waiting on us to give them the blessing to move.
It's a passion.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to say I appreciate the new paving, although Nick misses being able to do pop wheelies and stuff. I mean, there's that. But,
Sorry.
But I don't say, not me. I'm very, very glad that's gotten taken care of.
We'll get that letter on letterhead to you this week.
Awesome.
Thank you all.
Okay, you're
Thank you
welcome.
very much.
Absolutely, thank you. Thank you. Okay, any public comments on any of the items that were presented on the agenda?
Julie, if you need to.
3 minutes.
Michael Langford, 1026 Arthur Court. I just wanted to say, definitely the neighborhood, so College Park Apartments is on the edge of the Prince Street neighborhood, definitely an underserved community. I walked it before my foot. And I will say that since the mayor took over, that there are a bunch of fixes in the sewer system and in the sidewalks that were not fixed for years prior. So I will say that I've seen more attention in the neighborhood and that some things are getting fixed, but yeah, there is no playground there. I was going to suggest that there's an area where you might have an opportunity because the owners can't really do much with the properties. What was it? It's Roger Street, which is right on the edge of Prince Street. And then there's kind of like almost a triangle between Jackson, Prince, and Roger, and a little bit of Lincoln. Those lots that face Roger stretch back through there, and there's like nothing back there. There's just a lot of space. You could very easily put a neighborhood, and then like the families and the houses around that it wouldn't be something that would be. I guess there would be eyes on it and kind of a security in place already because of the neighborhood. And yeah, I just really want to voice my support for that. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, administration comments.
I just want to give a shout out to our office admin, Donna. We had our Christmas party Friday night, and it was awesome. I know the amount of work and time that she spent on that. I'll say out of all the jurisdictions I've worked for, an employee event like that, that was the best attended employee event that I've been a part of, so that was awesome. And then the other thing was I got an opportunity to be a judge for the Christmas parade yesterday, and it was really cool to see everybody come out. I mean, I think we had 90 plus floats, so that was awesome. Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, a couple things. I wanted to say thanks for everybody coming out for the 2 tree lightings, the one downtown, of course, and the one at the park. Both were well attended and were good times. And I want to welcome Melissa on to the new council. And we had a little deviation there. We're back on track, and we're fully staffed on the council side. Looking forward to getting some stuff done. So, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Mr. Shield? Councilman Shield?
First of all, welcome, Melissa. Glad to have you on board. Okay, a couple things here. A couple things. Hope, those of you that aren't familiar, if you know Hope, there's an outreach in the basement of the Presbyterian Church. We served 100. We were prepared for 150, and we served over probably 130. A Thanksgiving dinner just before Thanksgiving. The other thing is, Mayor Taylor, I want to thank you for having a meeting with 4 of us to discuss the crisis of having some
winter shelter,
additional shelter for those when it's very, very cold. So I'll see Debbie with the information I will provide for her. The city Christmas party, Donna's last hurrah. She did it well, you're right. The parade yesterday, city did a good job on that. Just for your FYI, the Hands and Hearts Ending Homelessness Shelter, cold weather shelter, we have 36 men. So they're out of the cold, and we have it's nonstop. It's 7 days a week, 5 months. So any of you that are, have some time on your hands that want to help in the kitchen, call me. And I think that's it. I know when Mike was mentioning the parks and things like that, is there a list, because I don't know where I would look for it, maybe I should Google it, a list of all the parks that are listed in the city? It would be interesting to have that. Alan, you have that? Okay. Mm-hmm. And I have a question for Michael Langford. What is that little spot near Shiloh Street that's fenced in that looks like a totally...
Where the pool is?
I couldn't even see it.
It belongs to the canal. Yeah.
Got it. Yes.
Yeah. That belongs to the
Condo association. They've sort of kept
Yeah,
it
that's
dormant.
crosswinds.
That's the one you're talking about, okay.
There's no central management on that property, which is the core issue with the crosswinds and the issues coming from that property is that there's not central management, there's not.
Right. I saw this link, this chain link fence the other day. I thought, what is this? I had noticed it before. So anyway, okay,
Aquatic
it.
opportunity.
Thank you.
that's it.
Thank you. Councilwoman Jackson?
Saturday, I didn't have the time to attend this great event that was put on by St. James AME Zion Church.
I didn't either.
It was Suit to Sanctuary. I have been so busy for the last 2 weeks just doing community things. I just want a reminder that the 20th of December is our senior citizens dinner and gift giveaway. I have a load of people. I'm just study calling me, put their name on this. So I know I have over 300 people or more for that event, and I'm gonna be cooking and decorating and everything, and I just want you to prayerfully pray for me. And tonight, I apologize for having to eat, but my sugar has dropped tremendously. And I'm surprised my daughters let me stay here because they would have actually drugged me out. But I didn't want to go. I wanted to be here. Melissa, welcome aboard. Thank you so much. And I just want to let everybody know. And I don't think they were attacking you. They were attacking the method of how things were done. I truly and honestly do not believe that attack was actually on you. And if it was, I apologize for them. But I truly, here it goes again. I truly don't think. Shut up.
No, is that sugar or blood alcohol?
That's why they want it on. Welcome aboard, and I hope that we all, as a council and as administration, can work diligently together to get the city back on track. That's all I ask. It's about the city and the citizens. It's not about us and our personal agendas. We must move forward and we must persevere. And that's all I have to say. In case this thing goes off again, I'm done. Thank you.
Councilwoman Holland, would you like to add some comments this evening?
Sure. I would just say real quickly, I want to thank my family and friends that did come out tonight to support me. I also want to say that I hope that we can all work together in a very transparent way, and that we all have a unity together, being the city council. It's funny how life goes. I worked for the county council for almost 11 years and was on the other side of the table. So it's funny how life is, and now I'm sitting on this side of the table. I will say I honestly have the citizens' best interests at heart. It's not about us sitting at this table, but it's about what the city needs. I will, in the beginning of the year, within the first couple months, be scheduling a town hall meeting, because I need to hear the needs and the desires of the community that I do live in and that I do represent. I will say I've lived in this community for 27 years, 14 of those being in the same place I am. I raised 3 children in the public schools. I am devoted to Salisbury. I have been here, and I am ready and excited to take a seat at this table with the administration and with this council to get the work done that the city of Salisbury needs that's going to benefit the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gregory?
I just want to say that this year's parade was fantastic. So many great floats. I don't even want to know how long that one bus took to do, the school bus that was with all the farm animals macheted out the windows. That was amazing. I hope they won whatever judging. I don't know. You were one of the judges. I hope you scored them really high, because I can only imagine how long that took. Anyway, just want to appreciate seeing everybody come out tonight, but I also want to give everybody a heads up. If this is your thing, that is not something I participate in at all, but the downtown Salisbury Christmas Bar Crawl is coming up on December 20th. I am not of that age group anymore, but it's from Saturday, December 20th, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go downtown and support your local businesses. It's incredibly important, especially this time of year. So a lot of them count on this time of year to really help them end the year strong. So I appreciate you guys, and hopefully people will show up. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. I too am looking forward to a pivot as these next 2 years. And between things from our last year's retreat, things that we've been talking about on the council, I put together 20 for 26 items that I believe that our council is ready to work on, not in any particular order, but I'm really looking forward to this year really attacking these, is the homeless and housing, the Housing First projects, balancing revitalization, growth, preservation of neighborhoods and communities, access to address public safety concerns about discriminatory enforcement practices, election reform, the appointment process, town hall meetings, business district incentives, youth programming, our West Side Community Center. Really looking forward to getting that off the ground, getting that planted. Childcare for our city employees. I know Councilwoman Gregory's been wanting that for some time. Economic development opportunities. I'm looking forward to the fire service agreement process. Differential tax issues. Fair. I would like to have the city have a fair portion of the county and the county's poverty grant funding. The city itself doesn't get any of that. I'm looking forward to developing a TIF policy, infrastructure and development. I want to bring back the Rails and Trails incentive, the North Prong developments, green spaces and parks, the executive and legislative branch compensation going into the next election, talking about really the mayor's position is full-time. It's not $50,000 a year, or whatever, I don't know what it is, something ridiculous. It's a full-time position. It needs to be compensated appropriately. City committees in the process, looking for social inclusion, community identity and culture, and strengthen and develop new community partnerships. Those are 20 points for 2026, and I'm excited that we will be getting a start on that, and I'm looking forward to bringing all these things together with the council. And I think with that, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, Councilwoman.
I forgot about the Christmas parade, but understand me. Charge it to my mind and not to my heart. Sunday at the Christmas parade, we had the Youth Development Advisory Council with us. And as I explained to YDAC, the only way we can do anything with the kids is we have to start including them in the festivities, making them active. And they did a pretty good job Sunday. They did. I had to almost run them down, and then they slowed down, but it was just a pleasure working with them and seeing them, and that's what I want to see more of. My dad working with the youth in activities, events, and everything. So I want to start creating some events for our youth to take part in.
Miss Blake, real quick on the parade, I forgot to give a shout out to the JCs who put the parade on.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to make sure that they're recognized as well.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of hard work, and I was watching them run like chickens with their head cut off all morning.
I was on the phone from time to time with them, shuffling floats around, trying to tell Hunter what was changing. So being next to that operation, it is there's a lot of work that goes into it, and 3 hours goes by really fast.
And with those comments, we are closed.